excited. I've been waiting for this moment for like 2 months solid, and would love to welcome you all to this amazingly curated space, which is our Gallery 1. And as you can see, you're surrounded by all of this amazing art which captures the essence of the city of Albuquerque and what these departments behind the scenes really represent and look like. And sometimes folks aren't seen for the magnificent work that they do, and I think that was so thoughtful to present this as the very first art exhibit here at Gallery 1. And I am Neema Kamaria Hanifa Pickett, which is my very long name in Swahili and Arabic. It means born during prosperous times like the moon, a true believer. I'm with the Office of Black Community Engagement on the 4th, not the 5th or the 6th, but the 4th floor. Get off the elevator, hang a left, go to the end of the hall, and you might find us there. And so our Office of Equity and Inclusion, we do everything from culture change to work with our immigrant community to housing and lots of other amazing, awesome things that you can learn about, of course, on our website, and peruse the table outside and pick up some flyers about upcoming events that we will be happening. And we're really just excited to warm up this space. Tell people about it, your friends, your family, all the folks to come down and check out the gallery and the upcoming events that we have. I'm going to pass the mic just so that you can hear direct representation from our team here at the gallery, and they'll tell you a little bit about what this space does and what's upcoming.
Thank you, Neema. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Thanks for coming. My name is Robin Robinson. I'm the Public Art Planner for the Public Art Urban Enhancement Division, which is part of the Arts and Culture Division here at the city. We're the third largest department for the city of Albuquerque, and that's because we really know that public art plays a big role in everything that we do. And so it was advantageous that we opened the gallery in January with a show called A Day in the Life. It is an offshoot of a 2009 show that was about a day in the life of the entire city of Albuquerque. We focused mainly on employees. We had 7 photographers that paired with 7 departments in order to create narratives that you see that explain why we work to do more for the citizens of Albuquerque. My father was an alderman in Chicago. My mother was an activist, and they raised me on the principle that you give back and that city work is God's work. And so I feel very strongly of starting the gallery with this show. This gallery is a 2-mayor project. Thank goodness for Mayor Keller, who gave the final go-ahead on the gallery. We've been in the space since January. We do have a lot of programming coming up, and one of them is the Employee Art Show. If you are an employee or if you have a family member that's an employee of the city of Albuquerque, we invite everybody to take part. We are asking for submissions, and submissions are coming in until March 11th. There's another aspect that we just introduced to the Employee Art Show that I'm very excited. If you are a composer, a DJ, we are starting something called Airbud Afternoons so that folks can come in and take a musically curated tour of the gallery. If you are musicians, tell your friends. This even goes out to the community. We are looking for 3-minute to 5-minute submissions on MP3 and MP4. A variety of music. We're not going to limit it because we don't know what artwork we're going to get for the Employee Art Show, so it can be everything from landscapes to anime. We invite you to take part. So thank you, and thank you.
Thank you so much. So I always like to say that Black History Month is not just 1 month, but this is the start, March 4th, of 365 years that we will be celebrating our contributions to the community, to the country, to the globe, and to just continue that work, and how invaluable it is that we support each other through those initiatives. So you are all a part of that, and so I always say, you know, we don't have to just limit our programming there, but we want to make sure that we include our legacy and stories throughout the year. All right, so here's your Q&A. Anyone ever seen the play by August Wilson, which is going to be highlighted tonight? Any show of hands? No, wait, 1, 2, okay, we've got 2. Is that because of your work within the role?
I saw
or?
it. I did see it before.
Yes. So, just to give you a little history, August Wilson wrote his first play, which is Jitney, and you'll see scenes of that tonight, in 1979. Fences, now did anyone see the film? Fences, okay, a few of you, now you're gonna have homework to go out and see that, right? Fences earned him his Pulitzer Prize and Tony Award in 1987. Wilson won another Pulitzer Prize in 1990 for the piano lesson. In 1996, 7 Guitars premiered on Broadway, followed by King Hedley 2 in 2001 and Gem of the Ocean in 2004. You'll learn some more facts throughout this evening. I want to kind of set the backdrop of what it was, the intention behind this production. And a huge inspiration to August Wilson, who has heard of Mary Baraka. Any show of hands? All right, the poet. And I'll give a quote from Mr. Baraka, which says, "Architect of Black art, redefining no division between art and life or politics in life. Development of Black people equals the potential of our power. Black politicians are necessary. The Black politician and the artist are one." And that's a really powerful perspective that we should continue to bring forward in this work, that it truly is one. There wasn't a separation. Now, why is his story important or valid? August Wilson was completely inspired by his words to be able to say, how do I capture that in the format of written expression? And so without further ado, I'm going to welcome our cast this evening to the stage. You will be able to view these scenes, and after that, we will get into our cast interview. So, director, Angela Littleton. She's an actress, an ASL, American Sign Language interpreter, and director who was born and raised in New York and graduated with degrees in theater and psychology from Fordham University. She has performed in plays in New York, Hawaii, Oregon, New Mexico, to name a few. She has played Medea, Miss Muller in Doubt at the Cell, Lady Macbeth in Macbeth at the Ox Dog, Brenda in The Waiting Room at Mother Road Theater, and many more performances. She is making a debut as the director for this evening's production. So we're really fortunate to have you here and welcome you to the stage with a little round of applause. Make sure that doesn't slide. No, that's
Okay.
all for you. I just want to make sure nobody goes rolling off stage. All right, our next, our cast member, Vinnie Coleman, who will be portraying the role of Dove. He's a military veteran, blues musician, and an educator. Dr. Vinnie D. Coleman teaches at the University of New Mexico, where he is the past president of the Faculty Senate. He's a father of 2, a proud father, I should say, of 2. And we'll get into what that role looks like and how it affects his lens in this cast. Next, we have Gene Corbin portraying Jim Becker. He's been on stage in song and dance and guitar since his teens. Many shows and performances at Pope Joy Hall, Albuquerque Little Theater, and the Vortex for many genres. We're excited to welcome Gene Corbin to our platform and really thrilled that you could join this evening. But you're without your guitar. I mean, you know.
So that I can do some acapella.
All right. Thank you and welcome. And next we have Mr. Daryl in his house, our very own. Where's he at? All right, yay! Who will be portraying the role of Turnbow. And he first took the stage in Montgomery, Alabama. Say the dirty South. All right. Later, he joined us here in Albuquerque and had a reinvigoration of his love for acting after many decades of performances such as Othello, Lincoln in Top Dog, Underdog, one of his favorite plays, and he's been portrayed in film and television throughout many stages. We're excited to have you here. Thank you and welcome. Special treat, Steve Higgins is in the house as Sheely, and he's thrilled to work with this talented ensemble and crew of August Wilson's Jitney. Stephen has appeared on stages at the Adobe Theater in Driving Miss Daisy, The Women of Locksphere, and The Inherit the Wind. All right, so we welcome you and thank you for being with us here today. We've got Marcus Ivy as Youngblood, and he does, yes, Youngblood in the house. And he's been very active as an artist in Albuquerque since his retirement from the Air Force in 2016. He's recently been seen in Dr. Martin Luther King's Mountaintop at the Adobe Theater, and will be playing Barack Obama. Say what? Okay, so you'll have to check that out as well. This spring in Hillary Clinton's at the Vortex. Thank you for joining us today. I want to make sure we have enough chairs up here. All right, so our next cast member is none other than Danielle Turner in the role of Fieldley. And the creativity and imagination is what he brings to this platform and stage, with an emphasis of how he likes to portray and represent Black brotherhood. Thank you for being present with us today. And as we do the slide, but not the electric slide, with our chairs. Got a few more, okay. We have Nisi Wagner in the role of Raina. Yes, there we are.
Pronounced it as it is spelled.
Okay, can we get correct?
It's correctly pronounced Nikki.
Nikki, okay, all right. These are good questions to know. Nikki, and she is in the role of Raina, and is a well-versed artist, serving as a performer for over 30 years. I'm like, you don't even look like you could be on the earth that long. All right, we've got to learn all your beauty secrets tonight. In addition to her acting career, she's also a singer, a musician, a voiceover artist, and Jitney is really important and close to her heart because it's a social commentary, and we'll get into more of that this evening. Thank you for being present with us today. And it's always very important to have understudies so that they are ushered into, these roles. And so with us tonight we have Laura Martin, and she is your understudy. Yeah. And Laura is currently finishing her degree in English literature at UNM, and this will be her first production. So we're really honored to have you here tonight. Thank you for your presence and being with us. All right, we have chairs, they're not rolling off the stage. And without further ado, I present to you the cast of 2024's Jitney, and they will be sharing with you some marvelous scene selections. Thank you.
How you gonna take my man?
I'm a jumping fool.
How you gonna jump him with a man sitting right there? It's a man sitting there. Is you blind?
Well, put him where he belongs. I thought he was on that square. Put him where he belongs.
Told you I was a checker champ, but nah.
Man, I ain't studying you. How about that, checker champ?
Man, I done told you who you playing with now. Can't nobody beat me. I'm like Muhammad Ali, the greatest.
Hey, young blood, let me have $4. Yeah. Come on. Play, checker champ. What's the matter, huh?
Hey, I ain't got it, Phil. You know, if I had it, I'd give it to you.
Come on, move, checker champ.
Turbo, let me have $4.
Man, you feeling you know better than ask me for nothing. Come on. There, Kingman, come on, checker champ. So let's play again so I can beat you.
No, you Cheeto, man.
Oh, Turbo, let me have $4. Car service. East Liberty. Where about East Liberty? That's a $4 trip. Lady, I don't care how much somebody else charged. That's a $4 trip. Green car. All right, be right there. Dub, let me have $4.
What?
Let me have $4. I gotta run to East Liberty.
I ain't no bank.
Oh, give me $4, Dub. I'll give it right back to you.
Billy, if you weren't out there drinking up your money, you'd have $4. You would be asking everybody.
Did nobody ask you what I do with my money? Dub, let me get the $4. I'll give it right back to you. I gotta get some gas.
Here. This is your one time in life to ask me for something. Don't you ask me for nothing else. And you bring my $4 back here too.
Feeling ain't doing nothing but going out there and drinking up your money. He's going straight out to that state store. Car service. All right. Brown car? Oh no, this is the Giant. Yeah. Well, you ready? You checked out? Cause I'm not waiting. How's everybody here?
Hey, Sheila.
Chile. I heard your boy down the road got a brand new car.
Who got a new car?
Who? The one that had that restaurant over on Central.
What'd he get?
He got a brand new shiny Buick. And yeah.
You know me, Dub. I don't be putting nobody's business out in the street. First thing you know, somebody beat up, got killed. Talking about, Sheely said, I ain't gonna have that on my conscience. I don't know nothing.
I know he hit big. He been playing that 261 every day for years.
I don't know nothing about it. I do know he closing up his restaurant. City tearing it down.
They're gonna tear it down before it fall down.
Hey, I didn't know you and Pope was tight.
We ain't tight. And I don't know why Dub wanna tie me up with him.
I don't know when y'all used to be tight.
It must have been when that little yellow gal used to work for him. That's the only time you ever see me down here.
Whatever happened to that gal?
She married one of them boys, drives a bus. That's what I hear.
She wasn't the one, huh?
Nah, she wasn't the one. Thought she was, but I believe Rosie done put a curse on me. She don't want me to have no other woman, but she didn't want me? No. I told her, baby, just tell me what kind of biscuits you want to make. I'm like the middleman, and I can grind it up any way you want. And she say to me, but you a poor man. What I need with a poor man. And I told her, say, if I can make 100, I will give you 99. Now she didn't trust me on that. So I went down to the crap game and hit 6 quick licks, left with $163. I went on back up there, she let me in, and I laid $100 down on the table. And I said, now, if I could just get one of them back, I'd be satisfied. She reached down and handed me $1. I went on in the room and went to bed.
Okay.
Got up and she had my breakfast waiting on the table. But it wasn't soon long, that $99 ran out, and the next thing I knew, she done barred the door. So I went on and left. But I couldn't get her off my mind. Now I said I was gonna find me another woman. But every time I get a hold of one, time I lay down with them, I see her face. And I told myself, first time I lay down with a woman and I don't see her face, that be the one I'm gonna marry. That be my little test. Now, with that old yellow gal you used to work down at Pope's. Now, I'd see Rosie's face, but it was blurry, like a cloud or something come over it. And I say, got to try this again.
Okay.
Maybe next time I don't see nothing. And she told me she didn't want to see me no more. She told me, come back same time tomorrow. And if she changed her mind, she would leave the key in the mailbox.
Okay.
I went on up there. There was one man in the house, two others sitting on the doorstep. I don't know who had the key.
Car service. Sheila? Oh yeah, Sheila.
Sheila here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going next door, but I'll be right back.
Okay, that's 671 straight and 469 box for $1. Yeah, okay. I will see you down at Irv's later on. Y'all seen Becker yet?
He was around here this morning. I think he had to go on a run to take care of some business.
You know his boy getting out the penitentiary next month
No kidding.
after all them years.
Time to go around, come around.
It don't ever stop.
Car service. Where? Be right there. Blue car. Hey Sheila, give me $1 on that 674. I'll give it to you when I get back.
Okay.
Boy, I don't know what this world is coming to. Hey, you know McNeil, don't you?
Who?
McNeil, old lady McNeil. She live up there on Webster. Has them two boys. One of them's got that old funny shaped head or whatever. No, she works at the courthouse.
McNeil. I don't know.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about? McNeil. She used to be Brownie's old lady. Like I said, he used to stay up there to help her take care of them two boys. And that one's got that old funny shaped head.
Yeah, I know who you talking about.
Yeah. Well, that boy came by here earlier this morning and asked me to take him on a trip. Asked me to take him up to the north side, and then he wanted to make a stop on Whiteside Road. Well, I came up there and he goes to one of these houses and he comes out carrying television. And he didn't say nothing about no television. So I tell him I'm gonna be hauling around him and his television. It's gonna cost him $2. Well, he has me carry him over to the north side pawn shop. Now, I know this boy done stole the television, but I ain't saying nothing because I want my money. Man, why? I come on back and go into Pat's place to get myself some tobacco, and the fellas that stand around, they just happen to mention the name of a woman who done had her television stolen. Yeah, don't you know that boy just done stole his own grandmother's television? Her name is Bolger, Miss Sarah Bolger. That's McNeil, old lady McNeil's mother. Man, that boy done stole his own grandmother's television.
That ain't nothing, Turnbull. I seen worse than that.
Well, I have too, but what would make you want to steal your own grandmother's television? I can't figure it out.
Knock, knock.
I don't want to hear all that, Turnbow. I got other important things on my mind. Oh, here go Lucille's numbers. And I hear Pope hit.
Yeah, he hit pretty big. Becker, I've been meaning to ask you. I got this nephew trying to make something of himself, and you reckon you'd be able to get him on down at the mill?
I don't know if they're hired, but I'll talk to him for you. I know a lot of people down there be able to take care of him if they're hired. So I can't promise nothing, but I will talk to him for you.
Thanks, Becker. His name is Robert Sheely, and he's just trying to straighten himself out. I told his mama that I would check around, see what I could do. Thanks again. I'm out.
So, Becca, don't seem to know about Sheely's nephew. That boy is he's the biggest rogue, what you call a thug you ever seen. That boy, he done spent some time down at that house, that state house, and him and the Jenkins boys, the one that broke into Taylor's bar.
Thermal, ain't nobody asked you nothing. You just like an old lady, always gossiping and running off the mouth.
I'm just saying what I know. Car service. All right, brown car. Be right there.
Hey, Becker, I see you got some new tires.
Yep, I got 2. I'm gonna get 2 more next week. Car service. Booster. Yeah, I know where it's at. All right, black car.
Hey, y'all, Cigar Annie out there in the middle of Robert Street cussing out everybody.
Who's she mad at now?
Man, she started with God and went on down the list. She cussing out the mayor, Doc Goldblum, Mr. Eli, the landlord, the light man, the gas man, the telephone man, and anybody else she could think of. They got the furniture and everything sitting on the sidewalk.
I knew it was gonna come to that. Man, everybody done moved out of that building like 2 months ago. That building has been condemned for 2 years.
And she just standing up there in the middle of the street just holding up her dress.
I bet she ain't got no drawers on.
She got traffic backed up, and she almost got hit by a milk truck. Cars trying to go around, but she ain't letting them. She just standing up there just holding up her dress.
I don't know what she's doing that for. She ain't got anything anyone wants. Now, if Perlene got out there, you'd have a riot on your hands. Yeah, man, they need to put Cigar Annie and Mayview along with her friend Stool Pigeon, both of them.
Nah, there ain't nothing wrong with Cigar Annie. She been down to maybe 2 or 3 times. They figure anybody that cuss our God and don't care who's listening gots to be crazy. She's standing down there holding up her dress because that's all anybody ever wanted from her since she's 12 years old. She's like, if that's what you want, here it is.
Out there sending out an SOS is what she's doing.
All right, Turnbull, I don't know why I talk to you. But next time, remind me to shut up.
Hey, the pizza's been by here?
I ain't seen her.
All right, well, if she comes, I'll be next door at Clifford's.
Yeah, I thought you was going to work on my car. When are you going to work on my car?
I can't do it today. I'll look at it tomorrow.
Hey, if you're going next door to Clifford's, grab me a coffee.
I ain't your slave. Hey, walk over and get your own coffee.
That boy ain't got no sense.
You all right? Young, got a lot to learn. That gal keep after me, it'll be all right.
You don't need that gal. He don't know how to treat her. Treat her like the kind of class he is.
You don't know what nobody need. Let that boy learn to live his life. Ain't nobody told you what you need. I always talking about somebody.
That ain't what I'm saying. That girl's gonna see right past him. She's gonna find herself someone who knows how to treat her, someone who has more respect for her than to be running around with her own sister.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I see her come by here and they go running off together all the time and they don't even try to hide it.
That don't mean nothing because she riding in his car.
We call her on the telephone too. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. You wait and see, that girl's gonna see right past her.
Yeah, well, let him find that out. He got his own way to come to think. Let that boy learn to live his life.
Well, I'm just saying that boy, he ain't got no sense. And it seems like, at least I believe, he got shell-shocked over there in Vietnam.
Turnbull, you mess with anybody, you get a chance to stick your nose up in their business. Leave that boy alone.
What was that boy's name? Used to come around here? Jasper, that's it. That fool went crazy and jumped off the Iron Kaufman settlement house. I told you about him first time I seen him, and I'm telling you the same thing. He ain't got no sense. I'm telling you about the same thing about this boy now. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you about this boy now, even though he's not here. Tell me. So he ain't got no sense, and he's yelling, and anyway, I apologize.
Just like you.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want to call that putting my nose in folks' business, you just mark my words, because I'm just saying what I know. But if I'm gonna get accused of putting my nose in folks' business, then listen, I just say what I know, and I was telling you that you shouldn't be going around. I am totally not into myself.
There's a matter of me loaning Fielding a little bit of money.
Yes, I told you not to give him his money. Boy, he's out there drinking up your money, and I told you not to give it to him.
See, there you go. Messing in people's business. As unmemorable as it is.
I just say,
Well, just say it to yourself.
car service. All right, brown car. I'll be there in a minute. Here, what's that for?
This your coffee. I gave you my 30 cents. I gave you my 30 cents.
Man, you told me to have somebody else get it. How do you know I didn't send somebody else for it?
Man, I know you better take this coffee and give me my 30 cents.
Man, I have a trip.
Car service. Where you at? I thought you was gonna go down to the furniture store with me. What's wrong with your hair? There ain't nothing wrong with your hair. Rudy said something wrong with your hair? Nah, I ain't told her yet. I'm gonna wait till everything gets settled. What time you gonna be done? Okay, I'll pick you up at 3 o'clock.
That's it. Now, later in the day at the Jitney station.
Car service. Who's this? Yeah, Youngblood's not here. Yeah. Oh, Peaches. Hey. Yeah. Youngblood's not here. You want me to take a message? Okay. Pick you up at 4 instead of 3. All right.
Mr. Charmo, they're not around here.
He's out on a trip.
Did he say when he's coming back?
Be back in a minute. You can wait here. You don't have to go. I mean, you used to come around all the time, looking for young blood, asking him for money to buy that baby some milk. must be getting big. How old is he?
2, going on 3, running around, trying to talk.
And time just keeps on going. They don't wait for nobody. Everything's changing. I remember when you was in diapers. Hey, your mama did a good job raising you, though. Anybody can see that. She should be proud of you. It ain't easy these days to raise a child. And I don't know what these young boys have in their heads. They don't respect nobody. They don't respect themselves. That when I was coming along, it seemed like that was the first thing that you had to learn. If you don't respect yourself, then quite naturally you can't respect anybody else. You see, when I was coming along, the more you respected other people, the more people respected you. It seemed like it came back to you double. And them young boys today, they don't know nothing about that. And it's going to take them a lifetime before they find out. I mean, they don't respect anybody and they don't even think a thing about it. They steal their own grandmother's television. They grab a hold of one gal, time another one walk by, they grab a hold of her. They don't care. She could be anybody. But I just live and let live. That's what my grandma taught me. She's the one that raised me. And she didn't care what anybody did as long as they didn't cross her path. She was a good woman. She wouldn't let you lie, though. Lie was just about the worst thing you could be. I mean, lie doesn't know the truth, and they're never going to find out. And the truth is what sets you free. Now, I don't want to get in your business or nothing. But you don't need no hot-headed young boy like Youngblood. You need someone more level-headed. Knows how to treat a woman, has more. I mean, I can see the kind of woman you is, and you ain't the kind of woman for young blood, and he ain't the kind of man for you. You need someone more mature, more responsible kind of man.
I don't think so.
You wait and see. You'll see. I see many a young guy like you wake up when it's too late. Don't you be like that. You need to go find yourself somebody who knows how to treat you. Someone that has more respect for you than to be running around all hours of the day and night.
Darnell don't run the streets. I don't know what you're talking about.
I've seen him. I've seen him with other women. I've seen him with your sister. Day and night. Do I hear a phone ring? I hear a phone ringing. Okay. Well, listen, I'm just saying because, look, I don't want to get in your business. I'm just telling you this for your own good. If you were some other kind of woman, I wouldn't even be wasting my
I gotta
time.
go. Can you tell Darnell I went by to see him?
Awesome.
Feel him in back here?
Feel it, man? I told you he's out there drinking up your money. You ain't gonna see him till he's sober.
Man, these white folks are slick. They think of all kind of ways to get your money.
You just find that out. God help what you don't know.
Darnell, I want to see you.
What you want to see me for? I'm working. Told you about coming by my work, woman.
Turnbow, your trip.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, it is. I just come back. Take this trip.
Car service. All right, brown car. Be ready. I'm not waiting.
Darnell, I don't understand. I tried so hard. I'm doing everything I can to try and make this work.
What's the matter?
I'm working my little job down at the restaurant, going to school, trying to take care of Jesse, trying to take care of your needs, trying to keep the house together, trying to make everything better. Now I come home from work, I got to go to the store. I go upstairs and look in the drawer, and the food money is gone. Now you explain that to me. There was $80 in the drawer that ain't in there now.
I need it. I'm gonna put it back.
What you need it for? You tell me. What's more important than me and Jesse eating?
I had a debt to pay. I'm gonna put it back.
You know I don't touch the grocery money. Whatever happens, we got to eat. If I need clothes, I do without. My little personal stuff, I do without. If I ain't got no electricity, I do without. But I don't never touch the grocery money. 'Cause I'm not gonna be that irresponsible to my child, 'cause he depend on me. I'm not gonna be that irresponsible to my family. I ain't gonna do it. Jesse gonna have a chance at life. He ain't gonna be going to school hungry 'cause I spent the grocery money on some nail polish or some afro sheen. He ain't gonna be laid up in the bed hungry and unable to sleep 'cause his daddy took the grocery money to pay a debt.
Woman, I try to do what's right, and this is what I get.
You know what you be doing better than I. But whatever it is, it ain't enough.
What are you talking about now? I told you I'm gonna put the money back.
It ain't all about the money, Darnell. I'm talking about how you be doing. You ain't never home no more.
I be working. You know I'm out here hustling. I got 2 jobs and I'm looking for 3.
You be out half the night. I wake up and you ain't there.
Well, that's what time the people say come to work. 2 a.m. I can't tell UPS what to do, what time to have people come to work. Now, I told you that when I took the job. You said okay. I told you I wasn't going to be home. Now you want to come with this where I be at. You know where I be at.
You say you working at UPS, but I don't never see no UPS money.
I had some debts to pay. I told you that too. I told you we weren't going to see no money for a while.
What kind of debt?
Just hang, baby. Just for a minute. Just for a while. That's all I ask.
I've been hanging with you. That's what you said last time. Hang with me, baby, now I'll turn around. What's it gonna turn around, Darnell?
Soon, baby. Soon. Just hang.
I just want you to know, I ain't no fool, Darnell. I know you've been running with Peaches and her crowd all hours of the night, doing whatever you be doing. I may not know everything, but I know something going on. I know you all doing something.
Who told you that? Me and Peach is doing what?
She's my sister, Darnell. Don't you think I can tell she's trying to hide something from me?
Hide what? What are you talking about? Hide what? What is she trying to hide?
Ain't no need you bothering to come home, cause I just might not be there when you get there.
That'll teach you.
Next,
Is that the last?
think that's the
this is me.
Yes.
Oh,
Come in.
All right.
Really?
Okay. Car service. Sheely don't work here.
Hey, I was just next door talking with Clifford. He said the man gonna board this place up at the end next month.
Mm-hmm. Man from the city was here 2 weeks ago. Said they're gonna tear it down. They're gonna tear down the whole block.
The man was by here, you ain't told him about, well, what did he say?
Said he's gonna board the place up come the first of next month.
Why the hell didn't you tell somebody?
I'm telling you now.
Find time to tell me. 2 weeks later, I got rent to pay, doctor bills. Every man in the station is counting on this station for their livelihood. The city's gonna tear it down. You've known for 2 weeks and you bothered to tell nobody. But what are we gonna do in the 2 weeks that we got left?
I don't know. I kind of figured we'd just go along together somewhere else, find another place. But I don't know now. I'm just tired, Doug. Seemed like all I got left is what I ain't spent. Seems like every day costs you something and you don't all the time realize it. I used to question God about everything. Why he hardened Pharaoh's heart. Why he let Jacob run off with his brother's inheritance. But after Kareem died, I told myself I wasn't going to ask no more questions. Because the answers didn't seem to matter. They didn't seem to matter right then. I thought that would change. But it never did. It still don't seem to matter. I don't know that they'll ever matter. I'm just getting tired of waiting for God to decide whether he want to hold my hand or not. I've been running cars out of here for 18 years now. I'm just tired of driving.
Well, I've been with you 12 of those 18 years. And I thought that you would have told me we was gonna have to move because they're boarding up the station.
I'm telling you now.
That's not what I mean, Becker. It's like you're a shadow of yourself. The station has gone downhill. People don't haul. Some people overcharge. Field is stay drunk. I look at you and you don't do nothing.
Well, what's to be done? I try to keep cars running out of here. I try to keep everybody happy. I post the charges on the board. If somebody overcharged and somebody complained, I give them the difference and I tell the driver about it. And I ain't putting nobody out unless they're absolutely irresponsible. Now, as for fielding, I don't let them drink in here. But it's personal business, unless somebody complains, I got nothing to say.
Complain. They don't do no complaining. They just call somebody else. Somebody asks them for a number, they don't give them court 19802. They give them somebody else's number. Complain? You think they're gonna call you up and complain? Hell, they don't even know you're alive.
I just do the best that I can do.
So your best ain't good enough. Hey, Turnbow, they're boarding up the station at the end of the month. The man was by here 2 weeks ago.
who's boarding up the station?
The city. Cliff and everybody got their notice. They're tearing down the whole block. And the man was by here 2 weeks ago.
Man, I knew they were up to something. I saw them around here snooping around, and I asked them, they said there was some kind of survey. Yeah, I knew it was gonna come to that. Becca, you quitting?
I ain't said I was quitting.
That's what you told me.
I said I was thinking about it.
We ought to have a meeting one way or the other, figure out what we're gonna do.
Well, they can leave well enough alone. Car service. All right. Hey, it's Lucille.
Becca here. Well, yeah, I know, Lucille. Tomorrow? Who called? Are you sure? Yeah, okay. All right, I'll talk to you.
Are they tearing down the station tomorrow?
No, my boy's getting out tomorrow.
If you want to know what else happens to these characters, you'll just have to come and see the show.
Phenomenal work. So I'm going to ask for us to actually circle up. I know that's a little bit different, but if you can swing your chairs just around here. So coming a little closer, and we'll get into all the juicy bits. Yeah, just slide around, slide
Y'all can pull it in a little bit more. We don't bite unless we're asked nicely.
Just roll on down. Roll on in, roll on down. Awesome. Thank you for your rotation. So I always say we should all take a deep breath into this. We can just take an inhalation and an exhale. Inhale together, exhale, and on this third inhale and exhale, just releasing whatever doesn't serve us in the rest of this evening and inhaling life and vitality and positive energy together. So a deep inhale and an exhale.
Hello, can I ask what this group is about? Sorry.
Absolutely. So this is the cast of Jitney, and this is Gallery 1, the city's art space. And so we're about to enter into the interview portion of this evening. And if you would like to grab a chair, you're welcome to join us.
About just art?
This will be about the show itself. And so it's an August Wilson play.
Oh, okay, so like a play or anything? Are you guys about the city or want to see change or anything like that?
We all want to see change.
Okay, can you guys humor me? I've been literally shooting flares, spreading SOS signals, trying to find someone that's passionate and has a heart in the city and would love to hear what I have to say. Does it?
I can help you.
Okay.
We can assist you with that.
Yes, she is.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
We've got back doors, front doors, side doors, and it is the stage of life. So sometimes we have to be mindful that we hold space in these civic environments for everyone to have voice and that we can channel that appropriately. So welcome to the city of Albuquerque, y'all.
Downtown Albuquerque.
Downtown at that, yes. So I want to take a little bit of a deeper dive into your characters, your roles, yourselves as just human beings and what this work really means for you. I have a question for you, Director Angela Littleton, and when you're in the space of casting for a production, how do you determine what a good fit is for the cast and how they'll work together?
Well, during the casting process, we have both monologues and scenes. And so when people come in and do a monologue, then I'm kind of clocking their energy and how that fits with how I see the characters. And then later I'll have to do a scene with somebody else to see, especially if they interact with other people in a significant way, to see how their energy is together, see if they vibe together.
Now, for you, as both having the lens of being an actress and also an American Sign Language interpreter, one of the things that our office really works hard on is making sure that we have language accessibility. So how important is that in terms of production and how an audience engages when there is that interpretation or without it? Does that change things?
It definitely changes things. I wish there were more theaters that are able to offer sign language interpretation. It's a very expensive service, so it doesn't happen as often as I would like, but it opens a whole new world for the deaf and hard of hearing to be able to access a production in sign language.
All right, so I'm going to shift to Mr. Coleman, playing the role of Doug. And, you know, being a father and how important that is in your life, how critical do you find it with the fact that we're dealing with a time in this nation where there's an erasure of the history of African American people in this country, and how you view your perspective in making sure that families receive the education they need, but specifically to raising your sons in a place such as New Mexico, how do you empower them with that education if it is lacking in the classroom types of environments as they were growing up?
Well, that's a great question. You know, as an educator, I spend a great deal of my time doing exactly in the classroom what I do with my children. And that's to share the best wisdom that I have with them on a particular subject or the like. One of the things that I try to make sure that my children understand is that they cannot depend on other people for their education, that they have to be self-aware, they have to be self-motivated. And I try to instill that in all of my students, that what you learn in the classroom, for me, it can, by default, can only be part of the story, can only be part of the whole truth. It's up to you as a learner to find out on your own what your history is and to cherish it. Because other people don't have time to do that for you. That's your responsibility to preserve and cherish your history, your legacy. So I try to teach my kids that the world is accessible to them, and that they do have opportunities to make something of their life.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And Jim Becker, that is quite a character there, and I think that definitely there couldn't have been a better casting in this role. So Mr. Corbin, could you tell me a little bit about this particular quote that you gave? These characters feel so familiar, and I am glad to be part of bringing this warm, tough tale to audiences. And you say tough. Why that choice?
Yeah,
of
this
words?
story,
Yeah.
I can't tell the whole story right here, right now, but this story is, there's laughs in it, but get right down to it, this is a drama. And I heard you talking about jitneys earlier. I didn't know if everybody knew what a jitney was. Growing up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, there are certain sections of cities most cities had these set up. If you were black in the 1970s and there was a community of black people here and you needed to get to the grocery store, you needed to get to the bus station for something or another else, you might call a cab and they'll ask you where you live and you tell them where you live and they hang up. Because they would not come and service those parts of town a lot of the time. And so cab service was not always available, racial prejudice once again, but also buses were cheap. So a lot of the poor folks living here and there in certain communities, you'd be out there waiting for a bus and the first one comes by and it's 3/4 of the way full and so people in front of you get on and it's gone. And you're sitting there waiting for the next one, it comes up, it's full and it's gone. So it's a cheaper way to travel, but you might be standing out there for 2 hours, trying to get home from the grocery store, just trying, something simple like that. So that's how Jitney came into being. People with cars. Somebody had a car and said, "Hey, Janelle needs picked up, down at the grocery store." And I was like, "Well, I can do that. You can charge less than the cab, maybe a little more than the bus would." But at least somebody's going to be there within the next 15, 20 minutes or whatever to get you to where you need to go or bring you back from somewhere. I don't know where the word jitney came from, but I've known it, I've used it all my life. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is where this is based. And August Wilson is a god in Pittsburgh, I'll tell you. He is revered. And so the jitneys, everybody knew what a jitney was and where they had to go to get people back and forth to places. So, yeah, this was so familiar to me because August Wilson writing these characters, he was drawing on Pittsburgh. He was drawing on the characters there. I was 25 years old, had an afro out to here. I had a hard time going through doorways sometimes with that thing. And, but I was not directly into these communities. My dad had been. And I feel him a lot while I'm doing this play. Excuse me. He's very, very present in the character that I'm doing. And I wish he was around to see it. So anyway, it's about Pittsburgh. It's important to me that it is about Pittsburgh. That was one of the things that was enticing. Having August Wilson written it and it being about Pittsburgh, I was done. I was hooked. It was time to go play this character. And so, yeah, it has some tough parts. All I'm going to say about me is my boy's getting out of the state pen after 20 years of being in. So Becker, this is what Becker, who runs the Jitney station, is looking at. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then everybody else has all their individual stories. It's beautifully written. And these are great people. Okay.
Thank you for that, and honor to your father. I know that he's a part of this, holding space as an ancestor with all of us right now.
Mom, too.
And the mamas are here present. Just to skip over to Daryl here, and I had a question about your dream wife.
Oh, I said my stage
Your
wife.
stage wife, yes, your dream stage wife. And so, just to ask a follow-up question, how is it working together in the acting role, and then shifting the energy to what it represents in a director role and a cast member?
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't really know how many times we've been, I sort of lost track, on stage together, and we've played husband and wife.
We also played mother and child.
Well, that was in the same play, husband, wife, mother, and child. Yeah. So we
Interchangeable.
Oh, it was Susan Laurie Parks, Blood. That's a crazy script, and Angela had a lot to carry there. But I mean, just like Gene's talking about, it's like, and I feel a little embarrassed, for the lines, but at the same time, that's because I'm going to be relying on them. You build this trust when you're doing a production. You sort of start to you know how women's cycles will match up when they live together? Well, I mean, it's not quite like that, but I just mean there's this trust and this sort of connection that's, I'm sorry, there's this connection that happens.
Traumatize the child.
Okay.
No, I just want to know what day in your cycle you are,
Andy, okay, I'm on.
Hey, but I don't want to calm you all. I watched it happen, so don't.
So, I mean, sharing the stage with Angela and all these different things, I mean, I'm very aware of how she sort of approaches this, and because of that, it's like, I mean, quite often you end up dealing with directors that you don't feel understand what an actor has to deal with, and they have a vision that's not really this or that, but with Angela, it's, I think, I'm speaking for all of us, we're all starting from a place of understanding. I mean, as Gene talks about these characters and the story is something we've all have a connection to and ancestrally or in some way, and so we had a good place to start from. So it was really, let's follow Angela. Where does she want to take this story? It wasn't really so much trying to, figure things out. We all came here with an idea, and she didn't control that. She just sort of wound it up and let it go. I don't know if I answered your question at all. Now I'm even more embarrassed.
And we have a fantastic stage manager.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We do.
Yeah, so,
Yes,
I mean, again, I've done theater with your mom and her, and I mean, I've seen Gene for 30 years, so to get this kind of cast together has been decades in the making.
It's a powerful dynamic.
Yeah.
A huge testament to the work that all of you collectively bring. So Miss Cynthia, as stage manager, what is the goal that you have when you're working with the team and you're behind the scenes and the phone is ringing and it's not ringing and, getting everybody where they need to be? Like, what does that role represent for you within the cast?
I see my role as the chef. So I'm in the kitchen getting all the ingredients together, getting everything together, and the cake that I present must look good. If it doesn't look good, I did not do my job. So when the phone doesn't ring when it's supposed to, when someone's missing their cue, it's like, I feel like I failed. So then I take him in the back and I beat him.
That's what really goes on. Okay.
But being a stage manager and watching them perform, it's like, yeah, okay, a proud mom moment.
Very
Like,
fulfilling.
look what my kids have done. I had a hand in that. I mean, granted, I didn't do it all, but I had a hand in it. So that's why I do what I do. Have those proud mommy moments.
Proud mommy moments. And when
Yes.
they're unruly, the back door.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Steve, I wanted to just quote something that you said. Let's move someplace where nobody knows us. And, here in Albuquerque, we're about almost 18,000 strong as the African American Black community. And, we deal a lot with the weight of when we are seen, when we are unseen. And so if you could just elaborate a little bit about how, for someone who wanted to be somewhere where you were unknown, you find your way to a stage, which is certainly a space that everybody is looking, everyone is watching, all of these pieces.
Well, one thing that I'm grateful for is that my arrival in New Mexico didn't double the Black population in the state. So I spent 28 years as a soldier, and upon my retirement and my wife's retirement, we suddenly realized that we didn't have to stay in Virginia. And that's what started the conversation, which ended, let's move someplace where nobody knows us. New Mexico had always been drive-through country for us. It's like, you get through Texas, oh, we just have to get through New Mexico to get to Arizona. But one of my cliches is that paradise can have thorns, and I was corrected, it's paradise can have go-heads. New Mexico is one of the great secrets of the United States. This has been a good move for us, and what drew me to the stage is that I had majored in speech and theater when I was in college decades ago. I worked in radio straight out of college. An opportunity to fly helicopters in the Army presented itself. So life kind of got in the way. I did not intend to spend half my life in the Army, but that was the result. And now I'm just trying to see where I fit in. And beyond the stage, the thing that I would say to everyone is that our first goal is to be entertaining. The message is there, and the poetry of August Wilson is something that requires hearing. And I would encourage you to come and see the show. In fact, there is something about live theater where you have, everyone has a role there. And what I would encourage people to do is, if you only see 5 live events in a year, make sure that for 3 of them, you're not related to anyone in the cast or crew. And so New Mexico, like anyone else, you have a greenhorn from the east, you come out west to reinvent yourself. And that's what the theater gives me an opportunity to do, to reinvent myself.
That's Sheila.
All right, well, Youngblood,
Yes, ma'am.
we would love to hear a little bit from you in the transition of roles, you know, with going from such a powerful being as Martin Luther King and the mountaintop, and now being in this role as Youngblood, and then transitioning over to Barack Obama. Like, what pieces do you draw from to portray such diverse characters yourself?
Oh, wow. That's a very interesting question as well. I left home when I was 18 years old, and I did 20 years in the Air Force, all over the world. Like literally from Djibouti, Africa to Germany to Korea to everywhere, right? And so then come back here to New Mexico where it's a melting pot of people. So I'm able to draw from a lot of different people, a lot of different experiences, a lot of different just life lessons from being in the Air Force and being abroad. So
Thank you for
They
that.
were both in that play together.
Oh,
Yes.
wonderful.
I was just the maid. He was Martin Luther
You
King.
were Got it. And I have a question for you, Miss Nikki. You know, with being the primary role as a woman in this space, and we heard a little bit about cycles, our moon cycles, synchronicity from, you know, our male counterparts.
Good night, everybody.
But a woman's work, you know, what do you feel that you bring as the light into this dynamic, and that you have an understudy, a protege who's working beside you, learning from you, and all these things. What do you feel your responsibility in this role and passing that forward is as well?
Oh my goodness, that's
That's
Woo! Okay, let's break that question into pieces. All right, so firstly, I'll answer the piece about, you know, having Laura as my understudy. I think it's a kind of a common misconception that the person who is playing the principal role comes into a sort of a teacher role, really. The reason that I say that is because we have actually taught each other. We've actually learned from each other. We've supported each other. very true. There were things I have taught her, but there were also a lot of things that she has taught me.
And they were both chosen because they were both perfect in different ways.
Yeah,
They-
complimentary.
There were times where just like I wanted to go to the car and cry. I'm like, I got my lines wrong. I failed as an actor. And you know, and Laura's just like, no, Nikki, you messed up one time. Like you're fine. Like you'll be fine.
To be fair, your mess ups are like my best days.
But you know, but it's really, and of course, being that we are from different generations, and we approach Rena in two completely different ways. And I cannot tell you how many times one of us has come off stage and like, that's not what you did there. That's not what you did there. I like that. I'm like, steal it. You know. So we very much taught each other. As far as what Rena brings to this motley crew, well, goodness gracious. We have a lot of testosterone going on in here, like a lot. Boys club, you know,
I
like
take testosterone
motorcycles be damned, okay? Be damned. And so, Rena brings a lot of things to this piece. She brings a little bit of softness, she brings a little bit of but she also brings a little bit of conflict with her as well. You know, like just like a woman. We have softness and strength, right? we bring conflict, and we bring resolution. We bring a little bit like literally a feminine touch to this play because God knows it needs it.
Could use a little bit more.
A little bit more. Yes, agreed. But we take what we can get and we flesh it out as much as we can, and we make the best of it.
And where are you from originally?
Clearly, I'm a Kentucky native. Clearly, I cannot believe I had to even answer that question.
There we go. So Laura and I guess
Yeah.
Laura.
Also, you got my last name wrong. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Nino is my first last name.
Okay.
My father did not name me little boy for a middle name.
Yes. So good. Thank you for that correction.
That came with the family.
Yes. Okay. All right. Yes. I'll check in next time. Right. But for you, so one of the details about August Wilson is that he never studied in the theater or was formally trained in any way. For yourself, and studying English literature and so forth, what do you feel that you bring as strengths and honor in terms of your capacities in this role? And then to just follow up a little bit about how you feel in that connection, not in understudy, but in the sharing of this film together.
I'll start with that a little bit. Nikki has been such a wonderful partner. Because there's that level of, never have I ever felt like she looked down on me, or made me feel that way. I'm not crying, my throat's clear. I'm a big girl, it's okay. This whole time I remember telling my friends, because this was a whimsical side quest that I have done in my friend group. Everyone's like, you're not playing? It's like, yeah, I know, it's weird. And every single time I believe in giving props where props are due, especially with Black women. Nikki has been nothing but a wonderful, it's a past a mentorship, and we joke that I'm her annoying little sister, but it is that level of I have trust that she wants the best for me, and when it needs to be, she gets down and tells me, like, sets me in my place when I need to, and whenever I need to be brought up, she's always there. And I hope she knows I'm always there for her. So yeah, it's never, I've been very, because I'm so new to the space, it's something that I'm very conscious about is that not only am I new, but I am an understudy. And I'm very conscious about checking my ego at the door because that is the best way to allow yourself to learn as much as you can without this notion of maybe an inflated version of who I am rather than a version of who I want to become. Which I think can segue into the first question of without any background. It's interesting because I think on paper I don't have any background in theater really, but I study literature and study narratives, and I think there's art in itself. It's a narrative, whether it be a picture or a painting. There is a story and a narrative that you're telling something. Oftentimes that is the truth about life. And the nerdy side of me likes to look at the script and sort of see like just the character connections and how that applies to the narrative and moves it forward. But also I think within African American literature, it's not particularly syntagmatically, which means it's more linear. Rather, it's more paradigmatic, which is almost like a circle. You don't really know where A and B starts. A could be the starting point, it could be the end point, it could be the middle point. It works on layers. And I think Jitney is a wonderful story about the flaws in humanity and within community. And again, it's like, it's I kind of drive myself crazy with this play because I constantly am thinking about how it works at large in the African American literature canon. Because it is genuinely such a beautiful story about community and this need that arises in the Black community to create our own spaces because we were neglected inherently. And you see these Jitneys came from this need in the community. There was no, I can't think of another word, so I'm sorry, but there was no like capitalistic need to create a business. You had a need to create something to help your neighbors, your peers, to help
Providing a service for
providing
the
a
community.
service for the community because
Yes.
we didn't really have a say in being brought here, so it's not like we came into a space that was built for us. We had to learn to build this, and I think also specifically, please go watch it solely because besides the amount of talent that I think you can feel radiates from this room. But Becker and Booster have this beautiful, beautiful scene of the rawness that is Black masculinity. And it's tender, but it's rough, and it's gorgeous, and it's beautiful, and you have these two grown men set in their ways, talking to each other. I'm sorry, I give really long answers.
I think that was like the perfect segue to hearing from Mr. Turner. That you made a really powerful comment that was birthed from imagination and that limitless creativity that you mentioned in your interview. And so, brotherhood between Black men, what does that mean?
I think brotherhood between Black men means to me having a common, unified connection, shared experiences, though we're all different and experience different things, in our lives. Having that support where we can relate to one another, even though we may not have necessarily had that same experience, where we can relate, just culturally relate and understand one another, what we're going through. I think, like, for example, my character, Fielding, is a tailor and a functional alcoholic. And while he's immersed working at the Jitney station, he's constantly has these subtle reminders from his brothers, the gentlemen at the Jitney station, like, hey, man, if you have $4 if you didn't drink it all up, that's a cue right there that maybe you're drinking too much. It's time to stop that. And you have that whole dynamic taking place. as well as what was taking place during the 70s, the whole gentrification of the community, going from a strong African American community with Jitney Station and other stores and other businesses, Dean and Taylor, where we primarily depended upon each other before the government and other entities started to dismantle that brotherhood. So at some point, feeling slowly starts to ease off the bottle, and as the Jitney Station, that dynamic transitions into what the future of the Jitney Station is going to become. I think the brotherhood is between men is very, very critical, even then during the 1970s as well as in 2024, it still is. And I think it's a very important thing that we have, and we have to address in our community, not just within the African American community, but within the community of the world in general, because we're everywhere on the planet, and brotherhood is very important.
Well said, very well said. Thank you. Someone have a little.
It was just a name.
Oh.
You were summing it up really, really well.
Absolutely. So we have one final highlight to give, and you all can chime in where you feel led. But August Wilson said that he was led by the 4 B's, which were number 1, the blues, the music of Bessie Smith, which we had on earlier in the space, and how that was the soundtrack to his life. The second being the art of Romer Bearden. And a favorite portrait was the family around the dining room table. The third being the poet Amiri Baraka, which we quoted earlier on this evening, and I'm sure everyone could take a much deeper dive into his work. And the fourth being Jorge Luis Borges.
Borges.
There we go. Thank you. I'm like, I need sis with all pronunciation. And, 1899, wow, to go back that far and to look at how that was an influence to his life. And so what I would say with just that final mentioning is that he said to drink in life like poetry, rediscover literature, and that life is made of the fibers of poetry. And, that being, I think, one of the rawest forms of expression and freedom in that. And so if anyone of you in the cast would like to speak to any one of those 4 B's and how it's influenced your work within this context, I would love to hear.
May I?
Yes.
One of the benefits of being as part of this ensemble is I was prompted to start to do research into the world of August Wilson and to listen to what he had to say. Mr. Wilson's poetry in his Pittsburgh cycle deserves a hearing. And there are little facts about Pittsburgh I found out, like it had a very vibrant jazz scene there. Also, just the whole working of the numbers in that community, because it was a vehicle where people could, for a very small investment, get enough return that could mean rent or groceries. What's important about this show and seeing it is that it goes beyond just being a black writer and a black play about black people. It's about a community. And for the people in the audience that come to enjoy it, they should be able to see characters that they grew up with. That was the one thing that amazed me when I read it. And the thrill of being cast. Also, on a personal level, the importance of communication. My view is Sheila, And I have to thank Angela for giving me enough room to find that role, but also to meld with her vision, her omnipresent vision of what this world is. And that's always a treasure that I will carry with me as I go forward. And if there are other opportunities to be on stage.
I just want to say, just like jazz music and blues, we're all, each character, each person in the cast, we're an instrument. We're all instruments. Each personality, each voice, the highs and lows, the pitches, we're all instruments. The director is the conductor, and it is to bring some type of harmony to that, to the production, to the performances. So it takes everyone, and I think that's very challenging for the responsibility that you have, because you have to bring everything has to be in some type of sync, some type of rhythmic. Like blues, you have the highs and the lows. So you got the drums. Everything has to blend together, and then I think that's challenging. And I think that as well as in society, we're all individual instruments with our individual personalities and idiosyncrasies, but we all have to learn to mesh that together. And if somebody's out of tune, you have to know how to address that and say, hey, you got to tune these strings up a little bit, you know. And Gene can relate to that because he's a masterful guitarist. And if anybody else plays it, you know, it's great. And I'll also say this:
Your videos.
this is my very first time participating in something like this, and this has been the greatest experience I've had in my life. The greatest learning experience. The greatest. Nice to be around a group of people in a circle like this, and no one's relying on any type of beverages or anything like that to alter your personality or your state of mind. You know.
His character is a drunk.
You guys are a little bit drunk.
2024 makes 18 years sober.
And I would definitely say that I'm the conductor of a jazz band because everybody, I feel like my role is not only to see it as a whole, but also to allow everybody to have their solo and to shine in their own special way. So I feel like there are lots of shining lights here.
Absolutely. This has just been so rich. Please give an announcement. Tell us where and when. I know the Vortex Theater, March the...
That's me.
We have a
I'm
representative.
Leslie Richards, and I'm on the board of the Vortex. And I saw Jitney in London.
If you might come center stage here and
Thank you.
hit that camera.
I saw Jitney in London 3 years ago, and I don't think that ensemble has anything on these guys. So I'm thrilled that we came together to bring Jitney to Albuquerque. We open a week from today, March 8th, Friday, and it will run until March 24th. Performances on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 2 Thursdays, some Saturday matinees. There's these little flyers in the baskets here, so please pick one up, and the information about how to get tickets is on here as well. There are several discounts that you can take advantage of. The first Sunday is a pay what you can. The second and third Thursdays are bring a friend, share a ticket, so there's no reason that you cannot come to the theater. We're on Carlisle, there's plenty of free parking, so I hope that you will pick up one of these and come down and see us, and then become a fan of the Vortex for lots of shows, because we've got a wonderful season all year long. So thank you for this opportunity, appreciate it so much, and thank you guys for your time this afternoon.
I want to make sure that I pass it over to our audience if there are any closeout questions, comments, burning hearts, desires. All right. Well, this has been.
Just a really quick comment. I think that it's important to bring the works of August Wilson to New Mexico, to Albuquerque, because I believe that often we see theater that is from other and doesn't really incorporate people like Shaki Shange, when we did, for Colored Girls, who considered Suicide with Rainbow is Enough, or other authors and writers who actually bring the Black experience to the table and to the theater, to the stage, authentically. So I think that's really important. In Nuevo Mexico, we would say, es muy importante, right? Very important that we do that. I remember seeing Fences some years ago, I believe it was the Adobe, and were you in Fences?
No, driving the States.
No,
No, I
I'm
wasn't.
looking at you.
Oh,
Gene might
I
be.
remember it was Don Perkins, and I think
Don Perkins.
I think Don Perkins and Michael Herman is what I remember from back at the Adobe back in the day.
Yeah,
And it was really, am I right?
he told me that. He told me
Yeah,
that.
it was really intense, and Don is not with us anymore, but what a mind before he passed away. If you don't know about Don Perkins, look him up. He was a football player in New Mexico and wherever, and he
The
was just an amazing-
substation is named after him. I
Yeah,
just
an
did a
amazing
short
mind, But I remember August Wilson being seen through Don Perkins' eyes and Michael, those people then. And then I just left Arizona where I got to see the piano. And I got to see a whole cast there to do the piano. And that was really nice to be right there on the front row, in the round, if you will, checking it out. So I think it's important that we bring this to New Mexico. So people should just support, because theater, live theater, is so important, and especially after we come out of things like the pandemic, and we were closed up and not able to be together and interface. Now that we can, it's really important to be supportive of that art form and that medium, because we don't know when it can be taken away again, right? So it's just really super important to do that. So I just wanted to make that comment and, thank Angela for taking on that mantle of doing the directorship, and all the people that have taken on the mantle of doing the acting, and, the stage manager, and then, of course, we as the, quote, community that will be able to be supportive. So that was what I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. Everyone come out and see the full production, the cast of Jitney. This has been a beautiful night, and we celebrate you. We thank you for your contributions and being with us this evening. Bye, y'all.
Thank you for your touch.
I was just gonna say, it's all done now, so we can talk about that.